Hello, everybody. I'm Parsha Becky, and welcome back to another week of Parsha. As I'm sure you recall, we are currently in the middle of reading the fifth and final book of Torah, the book of Devarim. This week's Parsha is called Vayelech, which means he walked. It's called that because at the start of the Parsha, Moshe walks Vayelech over to speak to the Jewish people, concluding a conversation with Hashem. Moshe tells the people, I am now 120 years old, super old, and I'm ready to retire. Moshe will not enter Israel with the Jewish people, but he tells them, you guys will all go in. I won't go, but you'll go in and you'll have a leader. Your leader will be Yehoshua, who was Moshe's special assistant. We know this guy, Yehoshua. He will go in to lead the Jewish people instead of Moshe. And Moshe turns to Yehoshua. He says, hey, Yehoshua, be brave, be strong. Don't worry, because Hashem will be with you. Hashem will help you. Hashem will help you lead the Jewish people into their home of Israel, and everything will be all right. You'll do a good job. Just, stay strong. And then Moshe finishes writing out the entire Torah, and he hands it to the Kohanim, and he tells them, put it, where does the Torah go? If we've seen in Shul, you'll know the answer. Where the Torah goes in the Aron Kodesh. And he tells the Kohanim, put the Torah in the Aron Kodesh to keep it safe. And he gives the Jewish people a new rule. He says, guess what? New rule. Every 7 years, we know the seventh year is called Shemitah. If you remember from way, 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 way back in the book of Vayikra, we learned about Shemitah. So every 7 years, the end of the Shemitah year, on the holiday of Sukkot, which is coming up in just a few weeks, every single member of the Jewish people is going to gather at the Beit HaMikdash to hear the entire Torah read out loud so that everyone will get to hear the entire Torah. It's super important for us to all learn the whole Torah. Now, we can't keep this rule anymore because we don't have a Beit HaMikdash. Plus, it's super hard to gather everyone in one place. Plus, it really would take so long. Our throats would get really dry from reading the entire Torah all at once. But we still kind of honor this rule by what we're doing right now, by reading the Parsha. We divide the Torah up into Parshas, into chunks, so that over the course of 1 year, starting and ending on Simchat Torah, which takes place when? Right at the end of Sukkot, just like in this mitzvah. So starting and ending on Simchat Torah, right at the end of Sukkot, the entire Jewish people, wherever we are all reading the same part at the same time. And by the end of the year, we've all heard the entire Torah. So we still get to all learn the whole Torah. So Hashem tells Moshe, Moshe, it's time for you to retire. And after you're gone, you should know that the Jewish people are going to start making some really bad choices. They're going to ignore Hashem. They're going to forget about the Torah. They're going to get punished for making all these bad choices. And Hashem tells Moshe to write down a poem which tells the people about all the stuff that Hashem is saying and will remind them to make good choices. Every time they think about the poem, they'll be like, oh, wait, I shouldn't be making those bad choices. I should make good choices. So Moshe writes out the whole poem, and he gives a copy of it to the Leviim, and he tells them, hey, you should put this in the Aron Kodesh with the Torah for safekeeping and teach it to the Jewish people. Moshe teaches the poem to all the Jewish people as a reminder to make good choices. And next week's Parsha will be this poem that Moshe is teaching to the Jewish people. That is the end of Parshat Vayelech. Shabbat Shalom.